because I love it in here. I fucking love it!
One of my favorite genres of film are war movies, specifically ones involving the Marine Corps. I also really love an underdog alien invasion story where Earth is on the back foot the entire time until in the third act they're able to get the upper hand and save the day. Put these two genres together and you've got me drooling. The director of Battle L.A. took inspiration from movies like Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, and United 93. These were his references and inspirations for the gritty and grounded filming approach that he then mixed with using real-life Marines to make it feel even more authentic. This was also one of the movies I watched in my marathon of Marine movies the night before I had to leave for boot camp, so it has a little bit of nostalgia value for me. So the real question is, where does Battle Los Angeles fall on my rating scale? Let's find out. The movie opens telling us everything we need to know. The world is under attack by an unknown enemy while we see Marines loading up in helicopters to fly towards the ensuing chaos. We jump back 24 hours so we can get a lead up to the alien invasion and meet our large cast of characters. Staff Sergeant Nance is our main guy, played by Aaron Eckhart. And his backstory is that his last mission didn't go super well, and unfortunately, some of his men didn't make it home. He's on the verge of retiring from the Marines, but before it's official, he has to finish training his group of Marines. After Nance, we meet Stravro and Harris, who are 100% not allowed to be shopping off base in their camis. Marines are not allowed to wear their camis off base, and the fact that a lot of movies depict it as if they can really gets under my skin. After this quick introduction, we meet their corpsman Doc, Guerrero, and Kearns, who is currently seeing a psychiatrist about his mental state from his previous deployment. Then we meet Lockett, and he's the younger brother of a Marine who was killed on Nance's last mission, giving us some tension between them. But we aren't done meeting people yet, as our Butterbar Second Lieutenant Martinez has to make his appearance and also show us that he has a baby on the way. During all of these introductions, we keep getting snippets from the news about meteors that are going to land off the coast of 8 cities around the world, setting the stage for what's about to come. We still haven't met everyone yet, but the movie kinda has to get going, so Nance is brought in and he's going to be reporting underneath the new Second Lieutenant, Martinez. Lucky for the Marines, NASA figured out that the meteors aren't actual meteors, but mechanical in nature as they're slowing down before impact. A news reporter captures the grainy footage of the impacts before the aliens emerge and start laying waste to everyone in sight. Our team lands at the airport acting as the forward operating base, and the officer there tells them that they have 3 hours to evacuate the civilians before the Air Force levels Santa Monica. The military believes the aliens don't have any air support, so they think this will be quick and simple. While navigating through some smog, our squad gets ambushed in a very well done action bit. The absolute chaos of not knowing what's going on and the panic of the surprise attack is portrayed so well. A few of our Marines get a little fucked up as Guerrero takes some fire to the face, and this one guy named Grayson gets pulled into some bushes. As the group is taking refuge in a nearby house to treat the wounded, they start to come up with a game plan before they realize that their newbie Linehan is missing. Linehan has a little standoff with one of the aliens, and they kinda look like pit droids from Star Wars a little bit. Everyone regroups in order to head to a police station where civilians are located, but they get ambushed again. A guy named Simmons gets shot during this ambush and gets third-degree burns on his face, and some army people show up. With these army people is Michelle Rodriguez playing Tech Sergeant Santos, who joins the Marines on their way to the station. Nance and some others search around the police station where they find Michael Pena and some other people, including his son. In what is one of my favorite moments, Nance runs out holding 2 kids as the evacuation helicopter is taking off with the wounded, and this happens. Turns out the aliens do have air support, contrary to what everyone believed earlier. And on that helicopter when it exploded was our new guy Linehan, Grayson, Guerrero, and Simmons. Everyone breaks down a little from the loss, including the Butterbar, so Nance has to give him a pep talk. Kearns and Lockett go up on the roof to scout for a way out, and lucky for them, they spot a nearby bus. It's also said on the TV that the theory for why the aliens are invading is that they're here for our natural resource, aka our water. One guy goes on to say that we are the only planet in the galaxy that has a liquid form of H2O on our planet's surface. During the police station bit, they also find an alien inside, so Nance decides to examine it in order to find its weakness. Through trial and error, he's able to find exactly where to shoot the aliens in order to level the playing field. The aliens break into the police station, so one Marine named Imlay blasts one to bits with his grenade launcher. Our group of Marines and civilians escape on a bus, but Nance pieces it together that the aliens are actually tracking their radio channels. He makes a run over to a gas station and sets a trap for one of the ships, blowing it to smithereens when he tosses a grenade and the whole gas station engulfs in a giant fireball. Santos also tells Nance that her mission was to find an asset and provide a strike package, but they lost the asset before they could complete it. The bus goes up on the freeway, but a tank battle stops them in their tracks, and another fun battle kicks off with a very urban, almost Call of Duty campaign feel to it. Imlay, Stravos, and Santos get on top of a garbage truck to lay down covering fire, while the others work on getting the civilians off the freeway. Lockett uses a 50 cal that's on a nearby Humvee, and when he shoots it at the concrete freeway, it explodes? So the aliens break out this portable rocket launcher, and when it explodes a car, it flips over and crushes one of the army guys. Unfortunately, Santos gets stuck on the truck, so Stavros sacrifices himself in order to free her before it explodes. Nance and Martinez go to plant C4 in order to take out the rocket launcher, but an explosion wounds Martinez and causes Nance to lose the detonator. Knowing his fate is sealed, Martinez tells Nance to get everyone out of there and uses himself as a distraction so they can escape. His distraction of choice is blowing himself to Kingdom Come with C4, which is a theme in this movie. Lots of people dying by explosions. Now, for some reason, this makes all the Marines think that Nance just left him there to die. Which, I know he has a rep for getting people killed, but that is clearly not what happened at all. The survivors take shelter in a nearby store in order to brace for the Air Force's massive bombing of California. But the time comes and goes without any bombs dropping, so everyone realizes that they're losing this fight. It only gets worse when they get back to the base and it's in complete rubble and disrepair. And rounding out the sadness, Michael Pena also kicks the bucket from a wound he got on the freeway. Lockett decides that now is a great time to confront Nance about his brother, and in a pretty decent emotional moment, Nance reads off all the numbers for every Marine that he lost, including Lockett's older brother. Deciding it's time to get the hell out of Dodge, they take a Humvee and an armored personnel carrier to ride or die their way through the aliens. They run some of them over, shoot them with guns, and also kick them out of their windshield. They make it to an evac and a helicopter arrives just in time for them to get on, and the pilot tells them that they're abandoning Los Angeles. Those poor, rich, mega wealthy celebrities in their multi-million-dollar homes. However will they recover? Nance spots what he believed to be the command center for all the alien drones in the sky, so he rappels out of the chopper to go off and investigate. But as it turns out, the ragtag team of Marines went from not liking Nance very much to following him on what is basically a suicide mission. Through luck and observation, they find what they're looking for, and their plan is to use a laser-guided system to call in a missile in order to take out the command center. So Kearns takes the radio up to a tower in order to call in the strike, and after making the call, Kearns too blows up in an explosion. A wave of enemies shows up and an all-out firefight kicks off. Unfortunately, the missile didn't work, and now the whole center is above ground, guarded by drones. Their second attempt also ends in failure, as before the missile can make impact, a drone is used to take the hit instead. So they call in a third missile and use a rocket launcher to take out the drone before it can take the hit from the missile. It works and the command center comes crashing down, causing all the drones to fall out of the sky. To round this battle out, as the aliens start to retreat, the Marines advance, making them run like little chickens. No offense to any chickens watching, aka the army. Once they arrive at the new operating base, another Marine says that what they did is going out to every army across the world. First and foremost, every single haircut in this movie would be out of regulation and the Marine would 100% get their ass chewed for it. I could probably create a decent list with all the things they technically get wrong, but I also like to think that maybe haircuts and the way they hold their weapon aren't as important as killing aliens. But all I'm saying is that their haircuts are in fact wrong. What is extremely accurate in this movie is how they all start cheering and yelling as soon as they see themselves on TV. Marines having the biggest egos across all the military branches is pretty spot on. I mentioned at the start about the inspirations for this film, and I think for the most part, it does a pretty good job of making it feel grounded. There are the far-fetched action bits like the gas station trap Nance lays in order to blow up the airship, or how a single Humvee in an armored vehicle can blow through miles of aliens with no issues, but we're losing the war. And I honestly really appreciate how little Battle L.A. cares about any of its characters. Pretty much everyone is dead by the end, and the plot doesn't slow down to give anyone more than 2 seconds to react and comprehend what happened. I think of Harris and Stavro, who are introduced together and clearly are BFFs. I mean, they're the ones who go off to hotwire the bus. But we barely get to see Harris react when he finds out that Stavro died on the garbage truck. To me, it's realistic because war doesn't give you time to mourn, which works really well with the race against the clock, save the day theme this movie also has going. Another accurate moment is when Stavro is running around asking people to trade with him for a very specific MRE. The amount of times I would trade whatever I could to secure my favorite meal ready to eat before a long training exercise or a long convoy is higher than I'm willing to count. And including real life Marines to train the actors and be on screen is one of the best choices this movie made. You're never going to have true 100% accuracy, except maybe that movie Act of Valor, where they used real life Navy SEALs. But that movie also had the acting talent of a potato, so, there's probably a reason we don't do that. But taking the alien element out, I personally think that the things that happen within the Marine storyline are done pretty well. I do question the method they use to find the weakness of the alien though. I mean, wouldn't stabbing a body of any kind over and over again eventually result in it dying? But for them, it's stab, stab, and stab a little more, then they find the crucial organ and the alien dies. But my biggest complaint, and you might have even felt this too during the plot section of this video, but there are just too many characters. And truthfully, I kind of trimmed down how many characters I talked about in the story of this movie because there are a lot of them. It makes sense given that a squad of Marines would be a little big, but all the names and faces start to really blur together during the chaos. The first time I saw this movie, I thought that Simmons, who died in the helicopter crash, was the same guy as Kearns who blew up using the radio at the end. So for a long time, I thought it was really funny that the movie killed the same character twice. Then on maybe my 4th rewatch, I paid enough attention to realize that they were in fact 2 different people. And honestly, a lot of the characters all kind of look alike, so there was a lot of confusion for a really long time on my part. But if you're looking for a fun alien vs. military movie, I think this one checks all the boxes. And my smooth brain just can't get enough of military movies like this, which is landing Battle Los Angeles in so bad, it's good. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to check out my video on the movie Battleship. Much like this, it's Navy versus aliens. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what movie you'd like to see me cover in the future.